Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at direct gameplay. We're not reacting to a trailer this time. Pure gameplay. Let's see how Battlefield 6 is able to capture the best of Battlefield. Of course, we will be given pointers because this video truly is about the fact that EA is aiming for 100 million players. I think that we can look at this gameplay, it's 20 minutes, and we can see what they can do to get 1 million players, right? Because 100 million players is 100 million players is 50% of Fortnite, probably 50% of Call of Duty. Let's say console, if we ignore the mobile people. So what are they aiming for? 100 million? How do they get there? What can they do? I have some thoughts and I'll point them out to you forthwith. I'll give you an example right here. It's 30 seconds and I already have something they can do. Now, you see this vehicle. You have two vehicles here. You have a tank, obviously, vehicles. So apparently, you can now hang on to the back of the tank here and here. Very good. That is fine. That is perfect. So that increases the number of people who can ride on the tank, right? But how about this? Like Battlefield Hardline, you could enter civilian vehicles. Yes, the game is cops and robbers, but you could enter civilian vehicles. One thing you can do is add the ability to enter, to commandeer these vehicles. That way, a player who is not necessarily good at moving and shooting can enter the car and get some safety. Or you want to goof around with your friends, get in the car and just drive around. I'm not saying that that is necessarily good for the objective, but you're talking about creating this pure sandbox on the battlefield. The sandbox is what draws players in. So a player on this very big map, should be able to get into this flag, get into this car, and drive the car to capture the flag, instead of having to run to a flag. The distance is much. A player is running for 30 seconds to get to the flag. With this vehicle right here, he can cut that journey by, more than 90%. The game definitely needs more ambient sound. Like if you listen to Battlefield 1, Battlefield 1 has a lot of ambient sound. Like, planes and different things going on. They may be part of the gameplay, but there's ambient sound. Whether it's music when the round is ending, or, there are just things that change dynamically during the map, and there are things that are persistent during the map. Let's hear what's going on right now. So of course, it's possible that you don't want the other ambient sounds to distract you, but right now they're on what flag? Okay, so they've taken A and B, and they've taken C. Look at C flag right here. Now you are in downtown Cairo, right? And this map is called what? Siege of Cairo. They've taken A, they've taken B. What I suggest is, we already had this vehicle right here. We had these two vehicles. For me, the player should be able to commandeer these vehicles. So that's 4-4. That's 8 people are able to enter the vehicles and get to the C flag or get to the B flag. Now, why not make C flag a police station, right? You capture the police station, you get access to the, the armored vehicles, like slightly armored, like a SWAT vehicle, something like this. So you have the tanks, and then you have the armored SWAT vehicles. That way, you have more means to get to the D flag, to get to the E flag. Of course, the enemies have their own tanks, and the tanks can deal with the SWAT vehicle. But to add a dynamic layer on top of that, you get the capture point should be on top of the station. I know this sounds like Siege of Shanghai. If it sounds like Siege of Shanghai, that's because that is what I'm saying. Siege of Shanghai is an iconic moment in Battlefield history because the capture point is at the top of the skyscraper, and then you guys are fighting, and then you can bring down the skyscraper, and the map changes, and there's lots of fog, and then the way to capture it is, in fact, it becomes a naval map because you can capture it with the jet skis and the boats. So you see how that Levolution, was able to change the dynamics of the map. So too should you be able to destroy the C flag or the police station, and then the map changes, and then now everybody is now all out war. No more armored police vehicles. Everyone is just fighting regularly. I just think that those dynamic changes in a map can provide more variety, I think. Just look at this. There's a car right here. The player shouldn't have to expose himself like this to snipers, to other infantry, and you don't want players crowding the tank either. So obviously the cars are limited, but it enables more people to get around quicker. And that's been one big problem of Battlefield. The maps are big, and then of course somebody gets the chopper, somebody gets the jet, somebody gets the tank, and everyone has to be on foot. So out of 32 players, 3 have vehicles, 4, 5, 6, let's say, have vehicles. The remaining 26 have to go on foot. They're running, you get sniped, they're running, you get hit by a chopper, you're running, you get killed by a tank. And you've been running for 40 seconds trying to get to a flag, trying to play the objective, and then you get killed very easily by somebody in the vehicle, and then you have to start again. So how about you are able to commandeer this car, which obviously, not regular gunfire should be able to do damage to it. If somebody hits it in the gas tank, it should blow up immediately, killing all 4 people inside. That is fine. But I just think there needs to be more going on than just the tank. Because, I mean, the RPGs take care of the tanks very, 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 very quickly, I would say. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because the tank does way too much damage by itself. So it's good that the RPG can take it in one hit. For me, C4 should be able to take out the tank in one hit, as far as I'm concerned. Because if you're able to let a tank get recon get so close to you, then you deserve to get destroyed. I hated it when in Battlefield 3, they made it Battlefield 4, they made it 3 C4s. I dropped the game immediately. Why would they make it 3 whole C4s to get a kill on the tank? It was ridiculous. Okay, so he's doing a lot of tank gameplay. Let me see what he's doing on the ground. I would say the guns sound a little bit too. There's a little bit of treble on the sound. I would prefer if the gun sounded more bass, more heavy. Like it's like, get my point? Like it's too bright. That's not the word I'm looking for. But yeah, it's too soprano, treble. I would prefer baritone bass on like an LMG, for example. It just sounds better. See that? That's crazy. That's a crazy flank. That's a crazy, crazy flank. So this is exactly what I was talking about. HQ has a tank, 2 tanks, right? A heavy tank and a light tank. Now you have these city streets, right? As you're moving through the city streets, you have cars or bikes, right? You can get on the bike, get on the car, and move. And the bike, it doesn't have to be a Ducati. It could be a freaking, what do you call it? Like a Jincheng, right? Get a Jincheng, just something like a 125cc. And then you have the vehicle. So there are 3 vehicles here and a bike, 3 vehicles here and a bike. This place could be an actual stronghold, but I do get it. I see the lane, but it's just be a little bit more dynamic if the players have to come down from the vehicles and get up to the capture point. Then, of course, the tanks can bring down the capture point, if that makes sense. Then, of course, the vehicles allow you to travel faster through here, perhaps across, and you can infiltrate quicker, right? Then, of course, it's the duty of the defending team or the other team to do their own, to move their own units similarly. I just think there needs to be more than just infantry gameplay. The vehicle gameplay should be expanded. Let's put it like that. Wow. That's horrible. I don't think I like this gameplay. Let's get somebody else. Let's see. Stick it up. Just to show maybe the young ones what I'm talking about. Here's Siege of Shanghai. Watch this. Let's look at it. This is the capture point. This is where you get access to the capture point. It's two sides of a very big skyscraper, and the capture point is right there in the middle. And then there's a fucking chopper. I mean, do you guys see what? Do you guys see my point? Just watch this. Right there. Vehicles. You need vehicles. You need more people, more ways for people to get involved. I'm not saying you should flood Siege of Cairo. I'm not saying you should flood Cairo and put jet skis on. I'm saying that some people took jet skis to bypass A flag and B flag. They went straight to C flag with the jet skis. That's the point. They went straight to E flag with the jet skis. The point I'm making is that right here in Cairo, you should be able to commandeer a vehicle. The vehicle doesn't have to spawn in your base. You could commandeer a vehicle and just drive past and try your best against the E flag. Just put pressure on them there. A small unit of 4 people. I'm talking about the ability for players to just express themselves with the opportunities they are presented. You can't have more than just 2 pilots, just 2 tank drivers out of 32 people. There should be more drivers. Like these guys. These guys are driving. These guys will do crazy work. Watch. Tank. Right. You have the guy running. You have the guy in the chopper. You have the guys in the jet skis. Look, Levolution gets a bad rap, right? People are like, oh, Levolution, oh, it's scripted. No, it's not scripted. The time the Levolution occurs is entirely up to the player. Yes, it's the same effect, but the destruction has meaning. It changes the map. Commander mode. Thank you very much. That's exactly my point. Now watch this. This is commander mode. Battlefield 6 needs commander mode. You cannot reach 100 million players without commander mode. You cannot do it. It is not possible. If you remember commander mode very well, this is how commander mode works. You are, instead of being the captain or the team leader of a squad of 4 players, you are the leader of the leaders of the squads. So you are giving orders to the leaders of the squads, take A, take B, and if the squad leaders follow your orders and they gather squad points based on following orders, you can get them UAVs, EMPs, Tomahawk missiles, gunship support, infantry scan. In other maps, you can get supply drops. In other maps, you can get vehicle drops. Battlefield 6 needs commander mode. It is so important. I know they won't, it doesn't sound like it's coming in at launch. It doesn't sound that way, but There is nothing more important than commander mode. Somebody needs to be able to sit down and coordinate the battle without actually playing the game. And that is what I'm talking about. So instead of 64 players, it's actually 66 players. And that is what I'm talking about. The fact that someone can sit back and be a proper commander. He's in direct communication with all the team leaders. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Will they bring back counter knifing? No chance. Commander mode is so important. Let's see if we can do a proper showcase of commander mode. Just to commander gameplay. Yeah, let's do some proper commander. Okay, we'll do this and then let's look at this. Online. Oh my god, I remember that shit, man. I remember that stuff. It was, I know we're talking about 12 years ago. But when you're playing a match and you just hear Commander is online, the morale boost you get is so insane as a squad leader. You're like, oh my god, we can actually win this. Because the commander truly was the difference between you and victory. If you had a good commander, trust me, losing a match would be so difficult if you have a good commander. When you hear that, you're like, oh my god, we're going to win. A team with a commander, just imagine you're in a match, a 64 player lobby, 32v32, conquest, you are in Siege of Cairo, and you're playing the game, the tickets are like 500, 600, the enemy has 600, you have 500 tickets, and the commander comes online. Your gameplay is going to improve because you're like, yes, we have the support. Yes, we have somebody watching over us. Somebody can actually give us advice, give us tactics live. Then the logistical support, the military support, it's just unparalleled because imagine a commander logs in to your lobby, to your match, and the other guys don't have a commander. You're going to win that game. You are going to win. So trust me, EA, you have to put commander mode in. Bring it in with season 1. As you're opening season 1, bring in commander mode. Just bring it back. Stop it. Don't even play around. Why do you think mobile games are so popular? Mobile games are popular because not everyone can hold a controller or hold a keyboard and mouse. But if you give somebody commander mode with access through a mobile phone, through a tab, and they can actually coordinate wins without actually playing the game, come on, man. You will get your 100 million players. You will. Oh man, that line was so good.
The commander is the only player on the team that has a unique overview of the entire battle. From there you can provide orders and assets, but the range of assets that you have at your disposal is directly connected to your team's performance under your command. The commander supports his team in 3 different ways. The first layer is the intel warfare. This is where you gather intel, but you also prevent the other commander from doing so.
For God's sake. This is a no-brainer. Nobody should have to ask for this. Nobody should have to ask for commander mode. In a modern battlefield, come on. I feel like fucking General Shepard doing this.
The second layer is about providing your troops with vehicle drops, supply drops, to keep the war machinery going.
Come on! Look, listen to me. EA forgot about commander mode. They forgot because they abandoned it for so long, made 2, okay to terrible games. Right? That's 42 and 5. BF1 was perfect. Right? And they forgot commander mode. In fact, what am I saying? There was Hardline, there was BF1, there was 5, and there was 42. So that's 4 games. And they forgot about commander mode completely. You need commander mode back. Nobody, I've not heard anyone complain about commander mode. No, not one person.
And the final layer, that's when you go on the offensive.
You're calling it an AC-130. It's not a kill streak. The players are the kill streak. Players can spawn into the AC-130 and fuck everyone up.
And on top of all of this, you will be able to play as a Battlefield 4 commander on a tablet connecting to a live game server on PC or console, making it a true next-generation team play experience.
So basically, this 2013, yeah, this 2013, watch. This 2013, so like it's so good, it's so accessible that even a woman can do it. That's
console, making it a next-generation team play experience.
It's so good, it's so accessible that even a woman can do it. That's what that means. Different times, bro. Different times. Like, what is wrong with that? What is there any problem? Is there any problem with that? Is there any problem with that? So let's watch it live. That was the trailer. Let's watch it live. Let's try this. So, yeah, this is the commander. This is the other commander. The other commander has 3,000 points, and his team is winning, as you can see. But he just joined in, so he has 0 points. So let's see what he can do. What's he doing?
Enemy scan is looking for your vehicles.
So I deployed EMP against the UAV. So that's the UAV, counter UAV, EMP UAV. He has no UAV going on here.
Stand by. This is TAC-Ops. We can relay any warning alerts to the squad via their maps.
This is a live feed watching the captain or squad leader of Squad F.
Let's check this out with the tech.
That's the gunship. The gunship. So you get it. A Battlefield map, a Battlefield game with this is going to work. It is definitely going to work. Battlefield 6. But let's see how he does.
Supply drop requested, sir.
See? They request a supply drop. This is where you build up your squad points, and it allows you to get supply drops, vehicle drops like that. So you deploy the gunship. So if you remember playing Call of Duty and you hear things like Overlord Actual, like General Shepard was basically commander, and then they make a request to Shepard, and Shepard delivers the gunship. Then you have the AC-130.
In the area from your squad. Commander, be advised that resupply is ready to deploy. Enemy requesting scan coordinates.
See that? So Squad F requested a scan of C-Flag. They provided it and it's moving. Come on, man. I know it's quite quiet and watch this. It's a full scan. It's a full scan coming in. Everyone.
Enemy deploying EMP.
So let's see how he ends.
Stand by confirmation from ground assets. This is Talk. EMP pulse ready to deploy. UAV.
Do you see that? Do you see that? My point is proved. Watch. Right fucking there. The music is coming in early. Make sure the music comes in before the match ends. And just like that, he won. He joined. What? He joined and he was losing, and he made the difference by being a good commander. That is a good game, and that is exactly what I mean. So we have. Let there be more vehicles, not just the military ones to spawn with, the ones you can commandeer on the field. You should be able to commandeer bikes on the field. Bring back Levolution. It's not a swear word. It's not a bad word. It just allows your map to be more dynamic. If you include map changing events, I think it's also good. Like as I said, the C flag, for example, in Siege of Cairo, it should be dynamic. It shouldn't just be there. You should be able to change it over the course of the game. That's 2. 3, bring back commander mode. Commander mode is in itself like 4 or 5 different awesome things. And I don't think you have much of a problem, honestly. Because just look at this, right? You are running to a flag, a B flag, that's under attack. You can see your teammates dying, meaning that they are being overwhelmed, and you are still going there on foot. A player should be able to just quickly commandeer a vehicle, one that is lying around, and drive there and, at least even the odds a little bit. Anyway, so that's basically that. I think if they do these things, I'm sure they will be well on their way to the 100 million players, because you need a good launch, get your servers together, expect a big launch. You're launching early, so that's October. So, of course, your marketing, that's your own business. You need to figure out your marketing. But then you need within the game, you need those things. The accessibility. Accessibility is not a bad word. It's not a swear word. It just means that more people can play your game. Obviously, you still maintain the wide skill gap between a good player and an average player. You need to maintain that gap. As I said, if an average player or a bad player is able to get in the map and able to just use a vehicle to maneuver and get to capture points and get, capture points, earn XP, even though he's not that good at shooting or commandeering a military vehicle, then that's okay for him. The player gets his own satisfaction from that. But you can't just have everyone running and dying to a tank or something like this. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, share, comment down below. What do you think EA can do to achieve their objectives? What do you think EA should add to the game? I think Commander Mode should come back. I think Levolution should come back. And I also think thematic ambient music and ambient war sounds should be in the game. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Out.